so we can really get this party started. Okay. And tonight we have our girl, Melissa James, hosting the call. I can't, like, it doesn't roll off the tongue yet because, like, you know, I don't know if it does for you. But also when you get to sign your name now, you've got a big J, which I think is really fun. Anyways, Melissa is someone that I really admire as a person, which is first and foremost the most important thing to me. I love her heart for this business. I love her desire to impact. She gets so freaking excited talking about fitness that she starts sweating. She's probably like standing and like clenching her butt right now because she's just pumped. And I love that. And Melissa, you give them a little bit of backstory about you, but thank you so much for hosting this and talking about simplicity in this business and your background. Like, I can't wait to learn all the things. I have my notepad. I'm ready. Now, let's rock, girl.
Yeah. Okay. I'm so excited to do this. I'm a little nervous, but I get super stoked. So, hi, I'm Melissa, and it's not official yet because changing your last name is turning out to be kind of a thing, but Melissa James. And so I'm going to give you a little backstory because it's going to lead right into what I wanted to talk to you guys about. So I've been coaching for about 4.5 years, and I came straight up out of the fitness field. So I moved to this tiny town that has like 9,000 people, median age is 57, and it came from college town, right, where I was doing all these activities, came here, there was like nothing. So I went to the gym, joined the gym, all this stuff, and that was not going that great. And then luckily a guy came in, started a CrossFit box, boom, I was the leader, man. I was the leader of the CrossFit cult. I went and got certified. I was all into it. I coached for quite a while. And during this time, I was working full-time as well. So, and this is going to make sense later, but my schedule was I would get up at about 4:30, go in, teach a 5:40 a.m. CrossFit class, shower at the gym, get ready, go to work. I convinced my bosses to give me a longer lunch hour so that I could go back and teach a noon CrossFit class. Again, a quick little shower at the gym, back to work. I got done at work, and this was just kind of a sitting behind the desk, sucking my soul type of work. So I got off at 5, went back to the gym, taught a 5:45 p.m. CrossFit class because I was so freaking passionate about it. But then I would come home, get home at about 7:15. My husband would have the most amazing dinner, of course, ready, but be in bed by like 9 and have to do it all over again. So I'd come home just bawling. Like most nights, it wasn't a horrible job, but y'all know when you're at a job that you're not supposed to be at and you're trying to fit in your passion into these tiny little things, it can be super tough. So I would show up at home and just be so upset. And obviously, that is not sustainable. So I did that for a while, trying to figure out how to get into the gym full time. So I started taking on more certifications. I taught Les Mills classes, group fitness. I started writing my own. I started teaching yoga. I was doing anything that I could to get out of this full-time job. And finally it happened. So I went from, like making okay money, surviving, it was all right. But insane, like just the schedule was not sustainable, to just living out exactly what I wanted to be doing, just living in the gym, doing it all the time and making very little, like scraping by. We're talking like, it was a little rough there for a while, but I was doing what I wanted. And so I finally had this realization that I was like, this cannot be it, right? Like those can't be the two choices of like either having no time and no energy and nothing and, making some money, which was very capped, or having, kind of the freedom of time and doing what I loved, but having so little money. So that's where I was at when I came into Beachbody. And it was because Kaylee, I think Kaylee's on here, Mia Moore, did this post and all I remember was it said something about fitness and working from home. And I was like, that's it. I need that. I'm doing that. I don't even care what it is. So I signed up. I asked her about 3 million questions after I signed up. I'd put it on my credit card because I didn't have money for that, right? I was just like, I got to do this. And I'm getting off track. Oh, and so anyway, so got into it that way, but still was doing CrossFit. Still was kind of like, oh, your at-home workouts, those are pretty sweet. Like I'm doing Brazil butt lift, in the morning, like warming up or whatever. And then all of a sudden hammer and chisel happened and my life was like, basically, let's see, what did I do? Oh, so what I realized was that I took notes. Beachbody took away every single negative aspect that I didn't enjoy about working at the gym and just made it disappear, right? So if you look at my schedule before, basically I was working all the time, trying to show up, trying to be energetic at 5:45 in the morning, which is just like, it's a little tough anyway. But when you're not sleeping, when you're going to a job that you despise in between, when you're not really making that much money, right? As fitness instructors, your income is completely capped. You can only work so many hours in a day. You can only teach so many classes, right? You're not teaching 8 hours of classes. That's like, or at least I couldn't, maybe somebody is, but that would be really unsustainable, right? Not to mention that you get either paid by the hour or paid by the people in the class. Thank goodness that was not my case, because tiny town, you sometimes would have 1 or 2 people in the class, but then that was it. Like there was no hope to like go anywhere from there. There was no hope to like grow or expand or have a bigger impact or to create an actual sustainable residual income, let alone live the life that I wanted to live. And that was the point that I got to, is that like, okay, I have my passion. I know what I want to do, but this is not matching up with the vision that I had for my life. Because obviously nobody envisions their life scraping by and like, or having that insane schedule, right? So finding that balance was really key. And I tell you all of that to tell you how I talk to fitness people. So those are the things that I really focus on. And I wanted to give you guys some just like quick tips on what I do because of what I have learned and gone through coming from the fitness field and being super passionate about fitness and wanting that to be my career, and how I use Beachbody as a platform for that. So the number one thing is pretty basic. It's like everybody else, right? 1, don't make excuses for them. Okay, that's their job. Like you invite them, you let them make the excuses. It's our job to understand and walk them through those, because we all know that excuses are just based in fear most of the time. So that's like it. Just remember that you don't make up stories in your head for these quote unquote fitness people that you think have it all figured out or have it all down. No, which leads me into my next point. Same thing as everybody else. You're seeing highlight reels, right? You go back and look at my pictures of when I was coaching CrossFit. Of course I looked like I was stoked, because all I was posting was when I was in my element. I was super happy. I was training all these people to do Olympic lifts and it was amazing. And that was it. I wasn't posting when I went home and was trying to figure out how to pay my rent or how to feed my dog or whatever I was trying to figure out how to do, right? I didn't post that stuff. So no one ever saw that. So again, just like when you talk to anybody, don't ever make excuses for them. And what was my other thing? Oh my gosh, I totally lost my train of thought. And I just said it. Anyway, oh, the highlight reel, sorry. So don't ever think you know the whole story. That's my main thing. So even if you see these people and they look all fit and they're teaching these amazing classes and they're full of people, like you don't really know what's going on, because you don't know how a lot of times they're getting paid, even, because it can be very income capped. So that was kind of the first thing. Treat them like everybody else. The second thing was really focus on the positives that Beachbody brings in that you just cannot get from the gym, right? And there's all of them. There's all the positives. So 1, we're talking no income cap. Like I said, when you're coaching, CrossFit or group fitness classes, there's only so many you can do, let alone like we're talking energy wise, we're talking literal time wise, and necessity, right? There's not like 12 hours of classes, depending on where you're at, that you can coach. So there's no limit in Beachbody. And that applies to the impact as well, which is one thing that I talk about a lot when I'm talking to fitness people, is that like they're really into helping people, obviously, because they're doing this. It's a passion-based thing for them, because they're not making their millions, they're not making tons. They're working their booties off, and they're usually making, like pretty minimal money, right, for all the effort that they're putting in. And they're doing it because they want to make that impact. And so talking to them about the impact that they can actually make with Beachbody, that expands so far beyond their physical like limitations, right? No matter where you're at, I don't care if you're in LA or a tiny town or anything, you have physical limitations to the people that you can reach. And Beachbody blows that out of the water. So if you're talking to someone and you're realizing that like, oh, this person wants to like help people make an impact, dig into that and show them the expansive platform that Beachbody provides for us, because we partner with them and are able to just like reach people everywhere. So that's a huge thing too. And then I'm just going over the positives, right, of all the Beachbody versus gym things. There's going to be a lot. Freedom of time and energy. Now, when you're coaching things, you are 100% on someone else's schedule. And to me, that was just just not interesting to me. That's not how I wanted to live my life. That's not what I wanted to do or make my choices. I wanted that freedom of time. And you do not have that in a gym, right? You're showing up when clients have time. You're doing classes when you can get the most people, which is of course like before work, 5:45 in the morning, or after work, 5:45 at night. And that leads me into my next thing, which is the energy. So one thing that I didn't mention about my schedule before that, the crazy schedule when I was coaching, working, I didn't work out ever. Right? Because self-care was not the focus there. So that's another amazing point that you can really connect with those people on, because obviously they're fitness professionals. They know the benefits of taking care of your body and self-care. And if you talk to them about the fact that what we do, number one is self-care, that could be huge for them because they may not be getting that at the gym, or not most likely, they may not be getting that at the gym, right? They're really, because when you're at a class, it's not about you at all. You are there to get those people a workout. You're not working out. You're not thinking about you at all, right? It's not about self-care when you're in that moment. So that's a huge thing. So if you don't have the energy after like hustling all day at a full-time job and then going and coaching classes or teaching classes or training clients or whatever it is that they're doing, what you want to be sure that there's energy left for you to take care of you. Or it's like, what are we doing, right? Proof of the product. And that's like what a lot of gyms are missing, I think, honestly. And we all know that that's like number 1, 2, something in Beachbody is be proof of the products. So that's a huge thing. And then we're moving on to 3, which is Beachbody as a platform for your mission or passion. Now, I almost hesitated putting this in here or saying this at all, but I have to because I think it's really important. And often when I talk to people, fitness people, I leave the actual word Beachbody out of it because it brings in a lot of things, right? It has a lot of context with it when you're talking to people. So you have to start with your passion for it, because Beachbody is the most incredible platform for reaching people in any way that you want. Like just looking at these faces on here, like none of you have the same mission as me or Caitlin or Camille or Keisha or anything. We all, maybe sometimes they're a little close, but they're all tweaked a little bit, right? And so this is a platform that we're using to share our mission and share our passion and do whatever it is that we want to do. And if you're talking to the right people, which we talk about a lot, right? You're talking to your niche, you're talking to the people that get you, they're going to get that when you start talking about that, even if they are fitness people. And then it's going to start clicking, right? In their brain, they're going to be like, oh, damn, like I'm sitting here doing good and I'm doing some things, but look at what I could do and look at the impact that I could have and look at how far I could take this mission and this passion. So really digging into that with fitness people is just, it's just the best, because you see this light start to come on and they're like, because they've been so limited for so long in the gym, they didn't even realize what they were missing. So that's a huge thing to talk about. And that what that takes, of course, slowing down a little bit, is you getting super clear on your passion, because that's what's going to bring in the right people, right? You start talking to somebody who's just not at the same, doing the same whatever as you, they're not going to get it. They're going to be like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. But once you hone in on what you're doing and what you want to do with Beachbody as a partner, as a platform for your passion, your mission, then people are going to start to get it. And then they're going to be all lit up. And I don't care if they like have worked out since the day that they were born, man, like they're going to realize what an incredible opportunity this is to expand that like crazy. And if they're truly passionate about it, they want to reach as many people as possible. So that's a huge thing. And I couldn't think of a good segue for this, but talking about fitness things, think if you have questions about that. I think I hit on all the things that I wanted to do, because I'm going to jump right into.
Can I ask one question real quick that was asked? Because that is so good. Can I ask you one question? How do you actually like invite that person?
Oh man, that's an excellent question. I was actually going to bring up one of my invites. And like the fitness person.
Yeah. Because I know what you're going to go into next, and that's so good too. So I'm like, oh, I'm so excited. Okay.
It's like two.
Yeah. How do you invite them? You're making me pumped. I'm an extrovert, so this is like, okay.
I know. I'm a little sunburny, but I'm so sweaty right now. Inviting people. So basically, if I notice that they're like super fitnessy, I'll just tell them that. I'll be like, look, dude, you are doing some amazing stuff right now. And I just had to throw this out there to you. And sometimes depending on, the person, I'll be like, you've probably been hit up about this a lot, because obviously you were doing awesome stuff. And I'm trying to think of exactly what I would say. Obviously you're doing awesome stuff. And I thought that you would like really love this. Like I used to be, and I would relate my experience to them. And you don't have to have that experience though. You're like, dude, this girl that I work with that did this team call the other day, like she used to be this CrossFit like addict. And now she's turned it into this huge impact that she's making. And I realized that that's exactly what you're trying to do. And I just see you doing so much more than what you're physically like confined by working at the gym. I don't know if that's your kind of thing, but I just had to throw that out there. And often when I invite, like straight to invite coaches, I bring it into a challenge group invite, because I don't very often invite straight to coaching, because I don't like to. I like them to go through it because I want them to see it. I want them to see the amazingness first. And if they just jump right into coaching, sometimes they miss some of that. But does that?
So good. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Cool. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Any other questions on that? This was kind of two halves call.
Yeah, no, that's perfect.
Okay. All right. So we're jumping into this. So back to, I have been a coach for 4.5 years, and I have been a roller coaster coach for about 4 of them. So, or what is it? Like a stick shift driving coach. But anyway, so start and stop. I would do really well. I would be really consistent. And then I would try to coast on that, or something would kind of come up. I don't know, get some kind of negative response or something. And I'd be like, meh, and fall off for a couple of days or a week, or heaven forbid, like a month or 2 or something. And then I'd come back in. So we all know that that is not a sustainable way to build this business, but I could not make the connection on what I was missing. Like I've listened to all the things. I know exactly what to do, right? And this is a little bit more for tenured coaches, but I want everybody to really like just get this into your brain, because you can know exactly what to do, but until you figure out that little connection for yourself and for your own brain, it doesn't matter, right? Like it doesn't matter. You're not going to just do it. Otherwise, we would all just do it and we'd all be 15-star immediately, right? So you have to find those little connections. So this is what I found, and I will swear by this for the rest of my business. Like this is everything, which is the rest of my life. And it is, oh, you can't see it really. It is the Success Club System Business Activity Tracker. And they've talked about it a few times on the National Wake Up Call, and it's changed literally everything in my business. So you can find it in the back office. I should have had I don't know the exact link to it. I'll find it and maybe post it on the team page. Thank you. But it's in the back office that Beachbody provides for us. Oh my God, it's so amazing. And it's keeping things super simple. So I want to start this with, I'm an Enneagram 3. So I have to win. Right? I need a win. I need to win every single day. I need to know that I'm accomplishing something. I need to know that like I won something. So for my brain, I have to set myself up to win something every single day. That's the only way that I'll stay interested. That was connection number 1. So that's where this thing, I don't know why I have 2 of them right now. I'm freaking out about it. That's why this thing is a game changer. Okay. I love being told what to do. You give me a task, oh man, I'm there. I will complete it. I will check off the box. I'll be like, yes, right? And that's what this is for. This is for those people that like to mark off little boxes, that like to know exactly what to do, how long to do it, and that it's going to get you somewhere. And I have to tell you, I started this in February. So this is not like, you can't just do this one day. Just like anything, you can't do it for just 1 week and expect it to change everything. This is still a consistency over time thing, but every single day that you do it and get that win, like we always say, little drops in your confidence bucket. And every single day that I check off the boxes, and the invites are the big thing for me, because I feel like that's the everything. That's the foundation of our business. If you're not inviting, nothing else matters. So every single day that I do that, boom, right? Confidence is going, and I know that I'm not going to give up on myself. So I'm not going to go over this like completely, because it's really self-explanatory, and that's what I love about it. This is it, you guys. And this is literally all I do right now. And breaks it down by timer. It's by minutes, like they do it in time blocks. That's what I was trying to say, which is amazing. So there's no pressure, right? Because as Enneagrams, like we like to succeed, but you don't want to like all the pressure, and we don't want to fail. So we don't want to be set up for failure. So like if you set these huge goals and then you miss them, no, right? You set the huge goal, you take a deep breath, and you focus on the day to day, because this is all that matters. Right? And don't overlook that one day. Don't overlook that one invite, that one adding someone or sending that or commenting on that one picture, because that's all that matters, right? Like none of this happens in huge waves. It happens with that one invite that you send, and then you send another one, and then you send another one the next day. And that's all that matters, is that consistency. Because it's just like working out. And I relate my fitness business or my fitness to my business all the time, because it's exactly the same thing, right? Absolutely nothing happens if you only work out, once a week or whatever, right? And absolutely nothing is going to happen if you invite one person a week or month, or you know what I mean, right? So it's that consistency over time. So this thing, and what I think the total, I added it up, the total is about 2 hours and 40 minutes blocked out throughout the day, and they overshoot, right? Like some of these, they're responding to new likes, comments, or views. And maybe some people that get like tons and tons of engagement, that could take 25 minutes. But that takes 10 minutes. You walk through and you do it. And it just sets you up for success every single day, because it's just that cycle of you're putting, it's telling you exactly what to post on your stories. And the more that you follow that, the more people you have to invite, the more people you have to follow up with, the more success, and then it actually has getting people results. And the more you get people results, the more that you have to post on your stories, and the more people you have to invite, right? So it's all these little tiny things. And that's literally all I do is check these boxes off every single day. And if I miss one, I actually analyze that too, right? Because you want to like look at what you're doing and why you're missing things that you're missing. And especially when you're talking basic of the basics. And that's what this is. Right. So that's kind of, it's pretty straightforward, I guess. That's kind of all I wanted to say about that, I think. Yeah.
I think that's so helpful too, of just like a basic tool to check in with. It's like the things that we talk about so consistently, of those tiny little things that are easy to do. But what I love is like, you guys probably noticed how freaking pumped she just got about this tracker, right? Like, so yourself. And if that like makes you just like, let's go, holla, like get that freaking tracker. What are you doing? Print that off, go to Kinko's, like laminate it. I don't know, make it like pink. Do you? But I think that it's the excitement about the activity that's like our brain is deciding it's going to be fun and it's going to work. So our body's creating that emotion that you can see in what she's doing, right? So like don't miss that. Like that's why she's excited about this too. And Melissa, did you see like a difference in it? Because I know like you described at the beginning that sometimes you've built your business like driving a stick shift car, which is like that like analogy that I've used for a long time of like, if you can just go steadily, it's a little bit easier than going like you're driving up a hill. Did you notice a difference right away when you implemented this into your business? Like, how did you feel? Can you walk us through someone that's like, oh, well, I've been here for a while and what I'm doing is working, even though it's not actually working because they're barely hitting Success Club. Like, can you talk to them about like how you've done that?
Yeah. So I felt it immediately.
Yeah.
I believe that like for it to like reflect in Success Club, obviously you have to get your funnel full, right? You have to get that cycle going again. But for me personally, every single day from day one of using this, that I was, again, I focus a lot on the invites because a lot of times that's the most challenging thing and that kind of stuff. But every time I check that off, I was like, boom, it was like victory for the day. I win. And it made everything else easier. It made me want to go back and check off all the other boxes. It just kind of started to fill that bucket. And every single day, I have to be honest with you, like every single day, I didn't want to for quite a while. And I was just like, I'm totally going to give up on myself again, just like I have for the last 4 years. You know, I'm feeling kind of anxious today, or I'm kind of tired today, but I set myself up for success because I just knew exactly what to do. Like there was no questions. There was no like, oh, maybe I'll do 2 today. Maybe I'll do 3. I don't know. I'll just do follow-ups today. It was like, no, like this is it. this is how you can be successful in this business. And if that's what you want to do, if you sit here, if you're a box checker, right? Obviously, know yourself, know how you're going to be motivated, and check these boxes off. And I think that was one of the huge things, like you were saying, Case, that I tried to run my business like a lot of other people on the team in the beginning. And it just didn't work for me because I was trying so much to make it look like somebody else's. And that's where I was failing at it every time. And as soon as I realized like, nah, dude, like I want to have work hours. Like I have a 7 a.m. work session with my girls, right? And that like, I've never added more people to my network ever because I set my little timer for 20 minutes, just like it says, in the morning. And I add as many people as I can in 20 minutes. And I know that's happening. Gets me that win, like first thing in the morning after my PD, which also gets me a little box, right? Get to check that off. And then I do my workout, which checks off another little box. So it's just like this confidence thing. And that was one thing that I wanted to talk about is that like, it's amazing what that does. Just showing up every single day and getting that little boost of confidence and pushing through and doing whatever you have to do. Jump on noon calls with Keisha. That's when I'm doing my invites, right? My morning might get away from me. I might be distracted. The dog might be freaking out about who knows what, because that's what he does. But at noon, I'm going to sit down. I've done a lot of my tracker and I'm going to bust out my invites because I've had a list from some other stuff that I do too. So it's just, you feel it immediately. Long story short, you feel it immediately. And the more that you like just focus on that feeling and cultivate that, it's going to make it a little easier the next day. And then the Success Club points will come. And then the new people in your challenge groups will come that you can get more results from, which pump you up even more, which brings in more coaches, which gets you even more. It's just this, sorry, I could go on forever. It's just this beautiful cycle. And just the more that you can just check off the little box. It's just amazing.
It's the compound effect used to build confidence, right? Yeah. Like that's literally what you're doing with those tiny little check boxes. So what I think is really cool too, for a brand new coach, if this is like your first call or you're listening to this recording and you're like, I don't know what that is. You can choose right now to be like, oh my gosh, I'm overwhelmed. Like, I didn't know about this thing. Or you can be like, wait, let me just look at the link that Tanya just posted and I'll share it in the team page and just go download it and like start tomorrow. And no, you don't have to wait till Monday. We don't encourage our like coaches or our challengers to wait till Monday to start a workout. So you can print this off tomorrow when you're at work, use your works printer, use their ink because nobody has a printer that works at home, and print off 1 million of them, right? Everybody gets fired. We're all coaches full time together, just working on our little check boxes. Okay, but honestly, I really appreciate your enthusiasm for that, Melissa, because nobody gets pumped up like a tracker like you do. And I've seen the change in your confidence of just having a game plan. So to the coach listening to this who's been a tenured coach for a while, if you've tried to do something and it's not serving you, that's literally what insanity is, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results or trying to emulate someone else, right? And that gives you exactly what you actually need to do. So I love that. Okay, Melissa, I have just one more like question that I kind of wanted to pick your brain on. Actually, two things. Wait, did you have something else you want to say? I didn't mean to cut in.
No.
Okay. So in terms of building your confidence during all of these different seasons, what has like been a way that you've done that? Like, are there certain books that have been really helpful for you and impactful for you at different like stages of your journey when you've doubted yourself? And even like obviously you've never like quit, but like wanting to like be like, is this my thing? Can I do this for the girl that's like feeling kind of stuck right now in her business? Can you share anything around that? Just because you've been here for a while, so why I have you live, I want to just pick your brain a little.
Yeah, dude. Because there's definitely been times, and we all know that is what is happening. But there's definitely a couple books that I can think of that I've read multiple times, that actually reading them multiple times has been the most helpful thing. And it was The Big Leap and You Are a Badass. And it was actually, I think, I don't remember, probably the third time that I read them is when I was like, boom, and that's why I always recommend, like, if you have a book that you kind of liked, and leave it for a second and come back when you're in a different season and read it again. And it's like, and it was a whole new book. Like the Big Leap was just a whole new book. We were at a different stage in our relationship. I was at a different stage in my business and all of this stuff. So those two books for sure. And then, and talking to different people. And this one was a huge thing for me, because what I realized, and I talk with my girl Caitlin about this too, is that when we're just talking to people, to talk to people on Instagram, right? Like, you just want to hit your numbers. You just want to get your 30 new ads or something. You're just like adding people, and it's not any fun, right? And so when I really honed in and searched the hashtag of my paddleboard, and it's like sup with pup, right? And I start finding these people, and I literally like only add people that have their dog in their profile picture, and like in their first 3, they have some kind of adventure picture. Then you get excited, because then inviting them is like nothing. I'm like, hey dude, like we're going on hikes, we're going paddleboarding all the time. I'm trying to get my 100-pound dog on a paddleboard. It's super fun. Anyway, we have to work out to make that happen. You want to do it with us? And it just makes it like the easiest thing. And so, and again, this is just how I do it. Like instead of doing this broad baseline of like add in all these women of whatever, that I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I don't know, I can't invite them because I have nothing to talk about. That was a huge game changer to me. And it took a little bit more time because you have to find those people, but it's so worth it. And read it in conjunction with like reading those books and then eventually finding this.
So good. So know the books that you want to listen to, right? And also different seasons of your life. I totally agree. If you guys haven't read The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks, that book literally actually changed my life because it talks about the upper limits that you set on yourself. And every single season of your life, you have different upper limits that you're setting, because this is a constant. I don't know. I meant to say continual and constant at the same time. A continual journey that we're on, right? So that's a really good point to tenured coaches, like hear that loud and clear. And as you start to build confidence, you still have those upper limits. You just don't know what they are yet. So huge. And then talking to your people. I love that. And I think like for the coach listening to this, that like is like, well, I don't like have a dog. It's like, duh, take the same approach to anything. Like, what do you love? What do you get excited talking about? What makes you be Melissa, like talking about her dog, like a 100-pound dog? Like you can just see that she's excited, you guys. So that is really cool. Okay. Very helpful. And the last thing that I wanted to ask you was kind of around, like, what are you saying when you are like, cause I know you've talked about personal development and finding this tracker was huge and finding your people, but like, was there like a conversation that you've had to like get yourself unstuck or get yourself moving? Or are there certain things that you're doing to kind of pull yourself out of like feeling down when like a coach quits, or like you miss Success Club, or you miss a goal, or you're just like, man, no one liked my Instagram post, or like whatever, like crazy stories we come up with. Is there anything that you're doing that's been helpful for you?
Yeah, dude. So, most definitely.
I love that you say dude. It just makes me so happy. Okay, sorry, keep going.
I say it so often. I started putting it in my posts. And that's the point, is I started to be really aware of not caring what people think. And so it's kind of the same thing, because I'm not great, like Keisha says all the time, I'm not great at being like, oh, F them and F the haters and all that stuff, because that doesn't make me feel good either. So I'm really honing in on like, what makes me feel good, and it doesn't make me feel good to like worry about, it's so interesting. Like my boss, I work at a tap house as well. My boss at the bar like makes fun of me a lot for things. Blocked him from my Instagram stories, right? I am honing in on the people that are going to support me and like give me a positive feedback and do all these things, and just kind of letting go. And it's a practice, and I'm not great at it yet, but it's just that first step of becoming aware of that's something that's holding you back, and talking to, other humans on the team. And I've talking to one of my really good friends of being like, dude, it seems packaged sometimes. And I'm like, all right, thank you. Like, let's take a deep breath before I post. Let's figure out, like, let go of everything else. Let go of like what I think that I should say for this person, or make it sound the coolest, or make it sound super mind blowing, and just like breathe for a second. And then you put it out there, right? And then you post it, or, a post is just an example, but just getting super clear and super aware of what it is that you are trying to do. And I think the one thing that's really helped with that, besides personal development, of course, because that starts to like bring things to the surface and make you aware of things. But I do meditate every morning. So, and it's nothing like great. Like often I just kind of sit there silently. Sometimes I'll turn on like some free YouTube one. I don't pay for anything, and they're nothing crazy. It's just like being still for a second. And it's such a huge deal, because we can move so quickly and do so many different things and be worried about everything, that if you're just still for a second, it allows like your true authentic self to be like, right? And it releases anxiety. And like the more that you can do that, and the more that you bring that into when you're talking to people, like you can't you can't go wrong with that. Like you can't do that wrong. Like there's no losing there. See, Enneagram 3, I can't lose if I'm just doing that. And I think that's one of the things that I play in my head. So.
Oh, all the feels. That's so good. Okay. Final question to ask you. I know I didn't mean to go interview style, but I'm just getting really excited. Is how are you just to like leave people that are maybe just starting and forgetting about like how cool it is going to be for them 4 years from now to see the person that they are because of this business? How are you different as a human being than you were when you first started?
Oh, I'm so gonna cry, Cassie. Shut your face. Yeah, it's really intense actually. And 99% of it, because y'all know I came from fitness background, like I didn't need the workouts really. But what I was like a incredibly closed off human that just lived for other people's approval and like, and just like, ugh, right? Like outward things. And I've since, because of personal development and because of surrounding myself with humans like you, but seriously, humans like you guys, that, you know, these are some driven women, man. And I've never been surrounded by something like that before that pushes you to step up. And that's like, okay, that's cool if you want to slack off, but we're going this way, you know, like we still love you, but peace out, you know. And nobody likes to be left behind or lose, right? As an Enneagram 3. And that's what kept me coming back, I think. And so it's so formulaic, but it's personal development. And I just have become this much more self-aware human and much clearer on what it is I'm trying to do, like what it is who I'm trying to help. And it's little past me, this like sad, closed off human that has no direction and nothing going on. And it's like, oh God, oh, man, if you knew me before, I don't think anybody on here has known me before Beachbody, and it was painful. So anyway, so yeah, like personal development has like brought out passionate things, man.
Yes.
I know. Now I want to talk about personal development. Anyway.
Oh my gosh. You're like, you're married now too. That's crazy. Anyways, thank you, Melissa. Thank you so much for sharing with us. Like, I know that's so freaking helpful. Let's blow up the chat. So much good stuff. Like how to talk to fitness people. Everybody wants to go download the like PDF of the Success Club business activity tracker. Holler and like your passion. Ugh, I love people with passion. You make me want to do a freaking backflip like in the middle of the road. So thank you for being you and for showing up and sharing with us tonight. I so appreciate you. I will get this recording posted on the team page. Thank you guys for being on live. Love you, Melissa. Thank you.
Thank you guys.